And now it's time for another vacation rental mailbag. Today's focus is on house cleaning reviews that are left inside Guestbook entries by guests that stay at your Airbnb or your vacation rental owner. Is the cleaning a good idea to mention in the reviews? Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by the community over at turnovercleaningtips.com. Now, that is a website that has a whole bunch of resources and information and restocking supplies, staging ideas, tips, tricks, and then there's a community. And the community is for the hosts, for the owners of the property, for property managers, for the house cleaners that do the turnover service, and for guests that stay at the property and have cleaning questions. So check it out over at the community at turnovercleaningtips.com. All right, on to today's vacation rental mailbag. We are pulling out mail out of our email and our computers and our phones and our texts and our YouTube and all these things. One of the questions we had that came in was, should you, and is it a good idea if you are a guest, to leave comments about the cleaning inside the ratings and reviews that you leave behind in the guest book that is left at the property for the next guest to read? The answer is yes, it's a great idea. Here's the reason why. If you have excellent service, that is something you want to highlight, because whatever you write in the guest book, other guests are going to come and they're going to leaf through that. And whatever you say, they're going to be looking for those things. And so if you are the house cleaner, you want to provide excellent service because you want your customers to talk about that. And when guests come and they read that, that's going to be on the front of their mind. Then when they leave, maybe they will also leave a comment as well about the cleanliness of the place. But when they get something from the listing that says, hey, did you have a good stay? Will you rate the property? That's going to be the thing that's on the front of their mind. Here's an example. My husband and I went to Germany. When we were in Germany, we stayed at the most amazing place. But we had read online ratings and reviews before we booked the place. And one of the people that wrote a review said they were going to go somewhere and it was going to rain outside. And the owner of the place gave them an umbrella for their stay. Like, hey, he went way above and beyond and he gave them an umbrella. And I thought, well, that was such a nice gesture, right? But it stuck in my mind. Then when I was at the property and we were going to go somewhere and it started to rain, the man jumps out and he says, hey, can I give you an umbrella to take with you on your journey? And I got really excited. I was like, wait a minute, I got one too, right? And then I felt like I was treated as special as the other guest because he offered me an umbrella as well. Well, then when it went time to rate my rating and review, guess what I thought of? I thought that he went above and beyond to also give me an umbrella because it was going to rain when I went on my trip. So maybe he was going to offer it anyway, maybe he wasn't. But the reality is, because I was already sort of kind of expecting it, if he didn't offer me one, I might have been really disappointed. And then I might have left a review and said, well, I didn't get an umbrella. Maybe I'm not as important as the other guest. Do you see what I'm saying? So when it is in the guest book, then that is something that's at the front of their minds, and it gives them the incentive to also write that. All right, that takes us to the next question. If you are a house cleaner and you are looking for tips, for example, should you leave something like a tip envelope for the Airbnb guests or the vacation rental guests saying, hey, I cleaned your place, would you give me some money? Okay, so the answer to that is I wouldn't say, would you give me some money? But I have stayed in places where I got exactly that. There was an envelope and the tips were not expected, but there was a handwritten note on the outside of the envelope and it said, hi, my name is Amelia and I'm your house cleaner and I am delighted to clean and get this place ready for you. Please enjoy your stay. It did not say give me some tips, but then I saw the envelope and I'm like, of course, it's the tip envelope for Amelia, right? But the way that she delivered it was in such a way, her concern was that I was going to have a good stay and that she had left the place clean enough for me. And then, of course, the incentive is, yes, the place is beautiful. You did a great job. Absolutely. Here's your tip. And so there's a way to do that. And it comes in the art and the skill of knowing the proper way to do that so it doesn't look like you're just panhandling. Because nobody wants to pay money and go stay somewhere and then pay a cleaning fee and then feel obligated to leave a tip. They want to leave a tip because there was such amazing service that it made them feel joyous that they were at this place, right? So there is a way to do it. Now, that leads me to the next question. Should you take pictures of yourself and the guests if you are the house cleaner? That's an interesting question, and somebody wanted to know because they wanted to post those on Facebook and say, hey, I was able to clean an Airbnb for these guests. Here's where it works. And you got to be careful because all guests are not going to go for it. It works when the host is also the house cleaner. Now, I went to Paris with my husband and we stayed in an Airbnb in this amazing loft at the top of this high-rise building. It was a very expensive place and it was very nice. And the woman that was our host was a live-in host, and she owned this beautiful place. And the price that she charged us for the nights that we stayed, she could afford to live in this really nice place, okay? But when we got there, she put on this whole act like, oh, these are world travelers that are coming to my house, and I am so happy that you come into my home. And she said, please, may I take a picture of you? I'm collecting this wall of fame. And she had this big wall where she took pictures of herself with all of the other guests. And we looked at this wall and we're like, oh, this is kind of weird, but yeah, okay, that's cool. And her approach was so endearing. They were like, yes, let's pose for the pictures, right? Okay, so the cool part about it was this. She went out of her way to make us feel like we were celebrities and that we got to come stay at her house and she got to clean for us and host for us and all these things. And then she used those pictures in her Facebook or wherever she did her marketing to say, hey, more guests, yay, they came and stayed at my place. And it kept driving business because she kept posting all the different happy people that stayed with her. Well, what was really interesting when we got ready to leave, she'd already printed out the photos and she asked if we would autograph them. Okay, now we did feel like celebrities. We're like, whoa, this is so cool. We're autographing this homeowner's photos of us and her, right? And you know those are going viral. You know those are going on social media. She's going to be posting those everywhere. We're not celebrities, but the reality is she made us feel that way. So if you are the homeowner and if you are also the house cleaner, that is a great way to promote your business if you can pull that off. You're not just going to go in and say, oh, hey, can I take a bunch of pictures of you guys so that I can post it on social media and tell my friends that, hey, some more people stayed. You got to make them feel like, oh yeah, they want to do this, right? But it was a great technique because she had this big book of all these photos of all the happy people that had stayed and then this great big wall of fame. And then, of course, I'm wondering, well, do I go in the book or do I go up on the wall, right? But it was great of the way that she made us feel. So there are ways to do that to get your ratings and reviews out. But when your customer gets home to write their review, because when I got home from the lady in Paris, I gave her a glowing review. And I'm telling you about it right now. It was an experience. My interaction with her was an experience. So yes, that works if you can do it properly and do it that way. Alrighty, I hope that helps you just a little bit. If this helps you, please pass it on to a friend. Somebody you may know, maybe in the Airbnb industry, I don't know. Maybe it will help. All right, until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.